Hello, everyone. Welcome to PYP Boxing Live. Once again, this week we're going to be joined by Boxing with Chris and also Mile High. You'll have myself and my partner David, my wordsmith. Man, how you doing, buddy?
What's going on, y'all? Doing good. Mark, how are you, man?
Good, good, man. Great weekend of fights. It was really awesome for me. I had to work during the day. And, just like last year, I think I told you, man, these European fights are working out for me because I do open houses during the weekend. And that's kind of my chill time, even though it's work time, but I'm in a home, with furniture and stuff. So I pop on the fight and just sit there and watch for people to come in. Sometimes it's good conversation for the customers, but it was a really good day of fights and it was a long day. It was able to cover all my open house. So yeah, I even had some people just sticking around watching the fights, man. They were really good. Were you entertained?
Hell yeah, I was entertained, man. There was a lot of good stuff. There was a lot of good fights on there. I'm not a big fan of pay-per-views. Pay-per-views aren't, I think a fight needs or fights need to be worthy, like above normal in order to be a pay-per-view. But this one, I didn't mind it, man. There were so many good fights, and a lot of them were free, bro. A lot of the fights were free. Raymond Ford was on the pre pay-per-view telecast, Ford versus Nova. So didn't really have
Yeah.
to shell it out. That was a fight I was really kind of looking at the most interested in. But I also wanted to see Nick Ball and Goodman, and of
Yeah.
course Itauma. So yeah, man, I was entertained with that. Was watching boxing, and then you know how it is, bro. When once it's done, you got the rest of the evening to do whatever you want to do, go take your lady out to eat or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So
Kind of like kind of like a football day, it's done during the day on a Sunday.
exactly. Get it out the way, and it's cool. Like you still got the rest of the day going. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, yeah.
And I remember, I used to remember back when I was in the 80s, bro, when we were kids, watching boxing on Saturday afternoons. Like that was a
Yeah.
thing. Like ABC Wild World of Sports, right? It would
Oscar de
be
la
in the
Hoya fought a couple of times during the day uh at the beginning of his career there, man. Mile High
yeah.
just said he's tapping in right now.
Totally. I mean, don't get me wrong, bro. I like a Saturday night fight like anybody else,
Yeah.
but we could switch it up a little bit and have some different scheduling going on, man.
I
I think
like it. I like day fights. I'm really enjoying them. I mean, they're really fun and it gives you something to do in this very awkward time we're in sports. Everybody hates this time when there's no football, yet basketball's done. You get a little bit of track and field here and there, golf, but it's a weird season for sports fans around, late July, August. But football's coming around the corner and then shortly after that, we got basketball. So, but yeah, you add a little boxing during the day. I mean, why not? You know what I
down with
really
it.
like, David, is when I don't know how ESPN's going to do it this year, but they used to combine the boxing around Heisman and around big college games. They throw in some boxing. I guess they're not going to do that anymore this year, but I used to enjoy that kind of.
Yeah.
Mile High will be tapping in right now, and Boxing with Chris will be tapping in. And just to give you guys a couple of updates while we're waiting on them, next week PYP Boxing will be traveling to Orlando, Florida. We'll be covering the MVP doubleheader out there. They're going to have a doubleheader Friday and Saturday. Some exciting stuff. A lot of up and coming Latin fighters on those cards. Angelino Cordova is fighting Yanquiel Rivera on Saturday. That's the big one. But on Friday, they have a bunch of up and comers as well. Daniel Bailey's on that card. He's the main event. I remember him from Red Owl Boxing. But man, Jake Paul's making a splash, man, getting pretty big. He took Yocasta Valle from Golden Boy recently, David. You heard of that?
Yeah, I mean, she signed with him.
Oh, you know
She
what? I
didn't.
need to
She
send
chose.
these guys the link. I need to send these guys the link.
Yeah, she chose to sign with MVP, and I think it was the smart move overall, just because they've got so many women fighters now, and they're really trying to make a push in women's boxing. I think that's a lot. That's where a lot of the talent is going to be. They've got money behind them. It's a smart move by her to go with MVP.
Yeah.
But
Let me
you know what,
send
man?
it.
I'm not. Look, dude, Jake Paul, the boxer, not a fan. You know, not really. But Jake Paul, the promoter, the way he's trying to do the boxing business on his side of things, I really can't knock the guy, man. I think you talk about fighters or you listen to fighters who speak about working with him. They've got good things to say, man. The check always clears. They get paid pretty good money, and
Yeah.
you know what? You can't knock it, man. So good on him. For helping out the sport, trying to bring more eyes to the sport. I really can't say a bad thing about the guy.
Yeah, yeah. No, I don't know if Mile High is listening, but I did send that to your WhatsApp. I'm gonna go ahead and email it to you as well. And let me get that to Boxing with Chris just right now. Get these guys going.
Mike still sound good though.
Mike, sound perfect, man. Let me just get this
Orderly.
over to Boxing with Chris, man. I didn't even send him the invite or the stream, but let me send it to him right now.
Damn, man. I gotta start work tomorrow, bro. Back to the grind.
Tomorrow's your first day of school?
Well, nah. We don't get the kids. We're just doing like meetings and professional development and shit like that.
All right, man. I just sent that over to Chris. Let me send this one over to Connor. Sorry, guys. My bad. And Chris had already sent my boss here while I'm. Oh, I don't know. He said his boss was around right now, but he said he's going to catch up with us.
It's all good, man. We just jump right into it. Get
Yeah,
my high in there.
Connor will jump right in here in a bit. Well, let's just jump right into it, David. Dillian Whyte loses in an amazing TKO by Moses Ituama, man. What did you think of that fight? That was really surprising to me to see that he got knocked out like that really quick.
Same. I really didn't think much of the fight, to be honest with you. I thought it was possible Dillian Whyte was going to push Itauma, but he just didn't look great in his last fight back in December, and he just had nothing on Saturday, dude. He had nothing. He went out, didn't put up much resistance. So we really didn't learn anything, man, from that. And this was supposed to be a fight where we learned something about the young kid. And I still have the same questions about Itauma as I had before. And I took a good look at him before this fight. Previously, I'd only seen some clips, maybe one fight live on a Ryad card, I believe. He's a bigger heavyweight than I thought. He's listed at 6'4", 250. So he's right at the threshold of modern heavyweight size. And the thing that stood out to me the most about Itauma is that he fights like a middleweight, bro. His hand speed is sick. The combinations he throws, the punches he throws. Shit, I saw him take a guy out with a check hook, and he was moving backward. It looked like some Sugar Ray Robinson shit, bro. He's moving backward, and he hits a guy with a hook. And so his counter game's really strong, and all of that is great. So, but before Saturday, I had questions about him. I had questions about his stamina. I wondered if he could swim in deep waters. I've seen him get tired and noticeably slower after like 4 or 5 rounds. And then there's always that one question, right? Punch resistance. He hasn't been in the ring with a real puncher. And yes, every heavyweight can punch, but not all heavyweights are punchers. So yeah, he can throw, but does he have a chin? Can he catch? And we didn't get any answers to any of those questions because Itauma was simply too good for that version of Dillian Whyte. Now, what is he ready for? I want to open that question up to all of you after we hear about what you guys thought of the fight. Like, I would like to know, what's he ready for? What's his competition level should be after this? Because I think the days of faded veterans and no hopers, that's over, man. We got to turn it up a level, but how far do we turn it?
Yeah. Hey, Ma. Hi. How you doing, man? I'm sorry about that rookie mistake on my part. We're still learning on these lives. Uh, I'm hearing some. I'm hearing some back, but can you just?
It's a little echo.
Yeah, I'm hearing some echo. Okay, there it is. Perfect. Perfect. But
I'll shut my
listen.
mic off.
Yeah, no, we got it. That's perfect right there. Listen, Dillian White, man, he lost in an amazing first round TKO. What did you think about that fight? I mean, I wanted to see more, but it was quick and it was pretty astonishing to me, man. I didn't expect that. What did you think? We can't hear him.
Sorry. Are you
Go
there?
There you go.
Sorry.
There you
Yeah,
go.
what did you think about that, man? I mean, it was a pretty surprising knockout for me. What did you think?
Yeah, he came out, man. He was from what I seen on the highlights. I didn't get to see the whole fight. Um, he looked like a killer, man. He looked like a killer, and um, I don't, yeah, I Dillian White's a dog, man. But you never know what you're gonna get when he fights. You know he's gonna sell the fight. You know he's real believable, and then you never know what you're gonna get with him. Um, as far as opponents for this young man, I would say you got Big Bang. Zhang, you got a couple still, got Joseph Parker out there that's coming off a big win. There's some guys out there for him for sure.
Yeah, what about David? Ask him that question you came up with after your breakdown there.
Yeah, no, he answered it like what's the competition level should be like.
Joseph
I
Parker?
say no, well, see, that's the thing. I think there's such a thing as, yeah, we could step it up, but then you're stepping it up too much. I still have a lot of those questions about Itauma. Like, he's never been past the sixth round, man, and you don't want to be round 9 versus Joseph Parker for the first time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want some experience to be able to draw back on when you're facing an elite fighter or one of the top fighters in the division. And honestly, I don't know, man. Like, I think he might be ready for Parker. I really do. But I don't know. It still feels like it's too soon, and I don't know that you want to rush. The guy's 20 years old, bro. He's 20 years old, so he's still a youngster in the game. He looks ready. He passes the eye test, but I think experience is a real thing, and I think he needs to be. He needs to, he can get out of the kiddie pool, but he can't go to the 9 foot end of the pool yet. Not yet, not yet.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, I was like, I was thinking about that, man. I'm like, yo, can this guy go ahead and fight Parker or Caballero? Because those two guys are ready for title shots. They deserve it. They've proved it. They've had big wins over names, and you know what? Itama might still win those fights, but it might not be the best bet to put him in against those experienced type fighters.
Yeah, Mile High, anything to add on Dillian White before we move on to Ray Ford?
I I agree with that, but I kind of put I think Dillian White beat Parker, did he not? I
Oh yeah,
I
but
might
that
be
was
mistaken, but
no. You're right.
no,
You're
it
right.
was a while ago. But I think Parker's one of those guys. You know what I mean? He's hot or cold sometimes. Sometimes he's hot. Sometimes he's cold. It's the heavyweight division. So this kid, if he's knocking him dead, like Dillian White's that guy. He plays that mind game with you. Like I said, he's very believable. You never know what you're gonna get when he steps in the ring. But yeah, man, I think that kid might be ready for a step up in competition. Big Bang Zhang. But I think like I said, he's coming off a loss. There's some guys out there for him. What's his name? A couple still hanging around the division. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
right. Though experience is a big deal, but that young kid, he looked like a killer, man.
He might be special enough to not need it. You're saying?
yeah. Chris, I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Rookie mistake on my part. Didn't get that link out to you, man. I should. Did everything but that ahead of time, right? But listen, you're just in time anyway. Dillian White lost TKO to Ituma. What did you think about that fight? I was pretty surprised that happened so quickly and in such dominating fashion. What do you think?
It was good, but once again, too much people become prisoners of the moment. The Usyk talk, and he's the next Mike Tyson. Slow down, people. Slow down, because this is why when guys have a bad performance or when they look bad, we tend to give them a lot of hatred because people tend to put these guys on a pedestal way too early. He's only 20 years old. Let's see what he's got. We were just a couple years ago, oh, the next great American heavyweight, Jared Anderson. We saw how that played out. You know, can we relax? He beat up a 40-year-old Dillian Whyte who had a pillow under his armpit walking to the ring because he was coming to lay down. Dillian Whyte looked like he came to lay down. I'm surprised. We're talking about a guy that's fought Chisora, you know, Fury. He's fought the best of them of his time, and he looked like he had a pillow under his armpit. He came to lay down. I saw he took an equilibrium shot. That's what knocked him off. He took a little looping right hook over it. I saw the fight, and I saw it in slow motion. That's really what took his legs under him. But good, not great. Nothing that'll make me fucking declare him Mike Tyson. If I can curse, sorry about that. But nothing that'll make me declare him Mike Tyson or make me think that he's ready for Usyk. And even if he was, he's not gonna fight none of these top guys because he's 20. All of these guys are over 35. So by the time you get to somewhat of your peak around 25, 28, these guys will definitely be long gone. So I don't expect him to get in there with a Zhang or Usyk. His best bet, taking on a young contrary. See if you could get in with a Richard Torres, which I highly doubt, but never know. But maybe you could even throw him in there with another bet. Because let's be real, he's not beating no Philip Hrgovic. I don't think he's beating no top 8 heavyweight. No Philip Hrgovic, no Dubois, no Joshua, no Usyk, no Joseph Parker. He's not beating none of these guys. So let's just take it a day at a time and stop walking with our shoes untied, because that's how we trip.
All right, man. Quickly, before we move on to Ray Ford, quickly, one word answer to each of you. Does he beat Richard Torres? David?
Yes.
Chris?
Yes, just considering that Richard Torres has been going through the top rank way.
Yeah. What about you, Mile High?
That's a tough one. Like I said, I didn't see the fight last night. I just seen clips, but
You didn't miss
man, I don't know.
No, man, the fight were the clips. The fight was the clips.
I guess he needs to see more of
I
it
think
too.
that's what I seen, man. The kid looked good. I don't know. Like I said, you don't know until they get in the ring, man.
Yeah.
Till they start. We could sit here. This is the heavyweight, man. We could sit here and say he's not going to beat this dude. He's not going to beat that dude, and then all of a sudden, boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude gets clipped.
So
you're talking about 240 plus men just throwing hands with each other. It just takes one.
See, but I like how they try to compare him with a Richard Torres or somebody of his stature, someone of his country, of his level. I hate how we try to put him with the Usyk already. No, the Richard Torres, the Jared Anderson, the F.A. Ajagba, you know, throw him in with a contender, maybe a former champ. What's his record again? He doesn't have 20 fights yet. He's what again? I forgot his record. 2.
I got it.
Itauma?
Yes.
He's 13-0, no?
I got it right here. He's now 13-0. Yes, 13-0.
13-0. So I've always felt you got to treat boxing careers almost in 10. So your first 10 fights should be kind of tomato cans, right? Your next 10 fights will be journeyman. That would be in your 20s. Once you get to your mid-20s, early 30s, depending on how your performances have been looking, that's when you fight guys ranked. So I feel like the Richard Torres, the Jared Anderson, those are good comparisons for him. The F.A. Jagbas, I don't want to rush the process and throw him in there with a grade. But I do think he beats Richard Torres just to the fact that he's been in the top rank way. You know, these top rank guys, they still got the training wheels on them. So
yeah.
And just thinking about what I've seen from Richard Torres, though, he's been buzzed. He is pretty dynamic. You know, he's got some speed, he's got some burst. But he's been buzzed several times. I think Itauma would. I think right now, like, Itauma's ahead of him, just as far as developmentally and just seeing what I've seen with the skill set.
Definitely,
I think Itauma's too much for him. And Richard Torres is a bit smaller than Itauma too. Itauma is
All of these new heavyweights are small. They don't make them 6'6", 6'7" or more. All these guys are the size of light heavyweights. Like I saw a picture with Tom and Dimitri Bivol. They were almost the same height.
Itauma.
Yeah, he's only
Nah, bro. Itauma is he? I thought he was 6'4". He did look small to me, but
bro.
I've
All
looked
of
at
these new heavyweights, these Richard Torres, Itama, Jared Anderson. All of these guys aren't even 6'5". Like our
yeah,
heavyweights
but
growing up, they were 6'6", 6'7" minimum.
right.
You
Well, I mean,
had
not all of them. Not
no,
all of them,
but
bro.
if you
The
put 10
Klitschko's.
heavyweight, but most of the heavyweights, if you put 10 heavyweights from almost every era in the room, everybody was at minimum at least over 6'4".
Yeah, but I think 6'4" is still like a modern size, good heavyweight. That was Lennox Lewis's height, bro. 6'4". I can't. I wouldn't call him a small heavyweight. I think he looked small to me, but 6'4" is a good size heavyweight, and I think that's all you need to do some damage in there with these bigger guys. I don't care if you're 6'6" or 6'8". If you're 6'4", you got some hand speed and you can crack, you're gonna do some damage. But I agree with you, and no need to rush Itauma. That's what I wanted to say. He's 20 years old. There was some talk about him trying to become a champion and beat Mike Tyson's record or some shit like that. They already missed that boat. Forget about it. Just develop this kid properly. He should not be anywhere near Usyk right now. At least that's what I say.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, on next to Ray Ford. Ray Ford is now 18-1 after beating Abraham Nova, who is now 24-4. Still not a bad record, man. Abraham Nova, always competitive, always a true professional. But Raymond Ford did beat him. Not pretty easy, but it was entertaining. But it was a unanimous decision. Abraham Nova, man, he's always in there. He's always a true professional, man. This time weighing in at 129 after all these battles, dude. Hats off to that true professional. But Raymond Ford takes it. Chris, what do you think about that fight, man? And what do you want next for Raymond Ford?
Raymond Ford's been a solid fighter. He's been very solid. Gets the job done. Some people aren't fond of him. I actually like his style. I would like to see him step on the gas more. He just doesn't know when to step on the gas and when to use that ring generalship. I feel like he fought on the inside too much due to Nova actually pushing the action. The same thing was with Nick Ball. Like, he lets himself get dictated sometimes or drawn into a fight that he shouldn't be fighting because for the most part, he's been the more skillful guy with the better ring attributes in the last 3 fights that he has faced, and he's let himself get drawn into fights. So I feel like once he starts working on, ring temperament and how to handle certain situations in the ring, I think he'll be just fine. Another great boxer with solid pop, good skill, good speed, young, athletic. So I like his future.
Yeah. David, what did you think, man? Raymond Ford, he got past a really tough Supernova. It's down to Supernova, man. I know he's got a lot of losses, but he's always competitive. He's always in there, and he's a professional, man. What do you think about both of these guys' future? Especially kind of Nova, man. I mean, he's been on a losing streak lately.
Well, Nova is a big, strong 130-pounder, dude. Like that guy, I don't know how the hell he makes 130. That's a tough weight for him to make. He's a big guy. He looks like he could easily be at 140.
And he's definitely been on some wrong end of some decisions as well. Sorry about that.
Yeah, he's had some close ones.
So
even the shock fight
he's
was close.
very one of those few guys where the record is not what it seems.
Yes,
yeah,
agreed. The only person that really clearly beat him was Robesi, man. Robesi dropped. Damn, that was a hell of a.
He froze up, like he started shaking. It was kind of scary, but
Yeah, it was a little scary, bro. That was a crazy knockout. But I think the big knock for me on Nova was that he lets a lot of rounds go by without doing a lot. He kind of goes to sleep at the wheel sometimes. He'll come forward, but he doesn't throw a lot of punches. And I feel like that's what kind of happened in this fight. Ford got off first a lot, threw combinations, threw the flashier punches. He even forced Nova back at times. And then when Nova was able to get him back on the ropes, like Ford, man, his defense is really clean, man. Like he was catching a lot of those shots, brushing them off with his gloves. I think I was very impressed with Ford. I like Raymond Ford. I'm a fan, and I don't know, man. This fight got me excited for a Sugar Nunez fight. They're really talking about those two guys coming up against each
Yeah.
other. I want to see it, man, because now I know that Ford can handle a big, strong 130 pounder. He's not going to get flustered in there. He's not going to get pushed around. And
These guys don't know who Sugar Nunez is, man.
I think now y'all know Sugar. Y'all know
No,
Sugar.
yeah, of course.
not these guys on the panel. I mean, Ray Ford and them. They probably don't know what's coming to them.
Oh no, Ford does. Ford knows because he's been wanting that fight too. So I think it's not gonna be as much of a mismatch. I think it's gonna be a pretty even fight because Sugar Nunez hasn't been in with a fighter like Ford, man. So I guess you could say both of them haven't been in a fight with each other. So
one thing about Nunez is a big puncher though.
Yeah,
right.
Big,
That's
big
kind of the
puncher.
one element
Nick
that we don't know.
Nick Ball can crack, but not the puncher that Nunez is. And even though it was a smaller weight class, we kind of seen how he was kind of evading the shots. So a good fight would have been maybe him and Valdez.
Oscar?
Yeah.
Who and Oscar?
Raymond Ford, because even
though I don't know, man.
Stopped,
I think Valdez is dumb, bro.
I kind of think so too, but I mean, he's only been beaten by the boxer and by the awkwardness of Navarrete. So one boxer in Shakur Stevenson, who we know Shakur Stevenson's elite, and then
he's gonna beat everybody.
Arguably the most awkward Mexican fighter of all time in Navarrete. So that's a strong statement. He's the most awkward fighter. Prove me he's the most. That's the definition of awkward.
Yeah. No, that's definitely one of his strengths, man. Is you don't know what punch is coming at you.
For his career.
Definitely.
But you know what, guys? I think 130 is it's opening up, man, because Navarrete kind of looks a little bit on the slide. I didn't like the way he looked against Suarez. I mean, he looked okay against Suarez, but that wasn't supposed to go down like that.
He's got bad nutrition. I heard his nutrition is horrible, bro. It's just he's one of those freak guys that can eat Twinkies and still make weight. So
but it's gonna catch up with you though.
Let's go to Mile High.
And yeah, he's been notorious about bad habits out of the ring.
He has. Mile High, what do you think, man? Raymond Ford, was that a good outing? And also, who would you like to see him with next? Do you know who Sugar Nunez is, man? Not a lot of people do, but we've been talking about him. Would you like to see Sugar Nunez and Ray Ford?
I'm gonna look him up, man, because you guys are schooling me right now. I'm kind of embarrassed, and I'm not hip to these. You know what I mean? But, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely get on my game and start watching some of these lighter weight classes.
But what did you think about his performance, Mile High?
Like I said, I didn't get to see the card. I didn't get to see any of it. I just caught a bunch of replays. So I'm not to be out. I'm out of my element right here.
Yeah. Well, listen, guys. There was another one, and let me know if you saw it or not. Mile High. Well, you didn't see the card, right? But Nick Ball, man. Nick Ball went at it with Sam Goodman. That was a pretty good, entertaining fight as well. It was a unanimous decision, but none of these fights Saturday, were unanimous decisions that were obviously, they were good fights. It didn't look like a unanimous decision. What did you think about that fight, man? Let's start with boxing with Chris.
Nick Ball's he's a tough out for anybody, man. The dude's got the relentless pressure. Like I said, enough power to make you think twice about getting in there. He's gonna get caught eventually because he's kind of reckless with his head down on the ropes. On the inside, like I've seen him, he would just be completely with his head down, and then being short on top of that makes it worse. But right now, you just gotta ride with what he's doing. Ride with the pressure, the wearing guys down. Unanimous decision. I thought the 118-110 was definitely wide, but 8-4, maybe a 7-5, but definitely a clear win for Nick Ball, and he's continuing to improve. And guys at 126 won it. Shu Carrington called him out, saying that he's fooled. So a lot of guys at 126 been calling him out. I feel like they're also kind of protecting him over there in Ryad. So throw him in with some of these guys over here, man. I don't know what's the hold up, man.
Yeah. Dave, what did you think of Nick Ball's performance? And also, did Sam Goodman, did you think he was better than that? Because I did.
Well, I was kind of surprised by Sam Goodman, bro, for a little bit. But I gotta admit, I'm gonna fucking just confess right now. I thought Nick Ball took that fight wide, bro. I thought he took that fight wide, man. I understand some folks scored it closer, and I could see the case because there were some rounds. But I think at most I gave Sam Goodman, I could kind of give him 3 in the whole fight. But that was if I changed it. And I think what I fell for as scoring it, I liked Nick Ball's aggression. I liked the amount of punches he threw, and I liked the type of punches he was landing.
Yeah.
And but Sam Goodman did surprise me. I thought he was gonna get washed in this fight, dude. I thought him moving up in weight. Huh? You thought he was gonna do better?
I thought he was better than that. I thought it was gonna be I didn't think it was gonna be this one-sided. I thought it was gonna be a real good competitive fight. And I mean, it was
well, I don't know, man. He was coming
boring.
up from
It wasn't boring, but I expected more from Sam Goodman is all. I mean, with the record and all.
I guess.
Yeah, well, I mean,
moving up.
Goodman, he moved up in weight. He was a 122 pounder.
Okay.
So I just thought Ball was gonna walk through him, man. But for being a shorter fighter, dude, I'm not the biggest Nick Ball fan, right? I kind of compare him a little bit to Pitbull Cruz. Just kind of a really aggressive fighter, one-trick pony. He does this thing, man, where he closes the distance. For being the shorter fighter, he closes the distance pretty well. He kind of leans towards his opponent and then throws like an up jab. Like he jumps up at his opponent. That's a dangerous move, but he was getting away with it constantly against Goodman. And it was a good way to close the distance. He constantly did that. And I just like the activity, bro. The activity. I want to. If you're out there throwing 3 or 4 punch combinations, two of them are gonna land, right? Because you're creating openings when you do that. And he's pretty smart with his shot selection. He didn't take out Sam Goodman like I thought he was going to, but I thought it was an okay performance. So I kind of wonder what you guys think as far as where does he stand with the other featherweights? Like you got champions like Angelo Leo, Rafael Espinosa, and Stephen Fulton. I don't think anybody at 126 beats Espinosa. But
I think actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think Stephen Fulton plans to move up to 130 to fight O'Shaquie Foster. So
is that still a thing though? Because he was going back and forth with Shoes saying, "Yo, we can run it."
He's just waiting. They're just, the PBC. They're real loyal to Al, so they were just waiting for Tank to get there, to handle his legal issues. Like I said before, they were waiting. The PBC was hoping that Alberto Puello was being Matias, so then they could put a unification between him and Gary, run the rematch with Roach, and get the all title card between Roach and not Roach, Scooter and Foster. I think it should still happen, but I don't see Scooter fighting at 126 anymore. I really don't.
All right, so then there's a WBC interim champ, right?
Shushu.
Is it Shushu now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So then Shushu might end up becoming full champ.
Yes.
So I don't know. You add him to that mix.
He's been calling out these guys.
I like Shu.
He became interim.
It's not a shoe-in though, WBC.
Yeah, but there wasn't really any incentive to fight him, right?
For others.
Let's see. I feel like everybody should always go the IBF route. I've always said that.
Like the WBA is quick to elevate anybody.
Them and WBO.
But WBC is not quick to elevate anybody. If you're a favorite of theirs, so it matters if Shushu's one of Mauricio Suleiman's guys too.
I mean, let's see, man, because I'm surprised him being a top-ranked guy. They haven't even discussed a fight with him and Espinosa. I don't know what's the holdup. Like, I really don't, but I don't know. Top Rank has a way of doing things sometimes that just makes you scratch your head.
Yeah. They need to
Yeah, that's
focus on
true though, because
shooting
Virgil
division.
has the WBC. Virgil has the WBC, and he hasn't been able to force Fondora to get into the ring either. So yeah, the WBC is kind of shady in that regard too.
Yeah. All right, guys, moving on. Philip Hrgovic, man. Philip Hrgovic was kicking David Adelaya's butt pretty much the whole fight, but then he caught one in the 8th round, got a little bit of wobbly. He hung on in there to win. What did you think about that one, Chris?
It was good, man. It was a good squabble. Those are the fights that Turkey likes. The no defense, everybody exchanging leather. So it's a good fight for the fans. That's a good opponent actually for Moses actually. How you pronounce the guy's name? Adelaide?
Adelaide, yeah.
Adelaide.
That's a definitely. You see, those are the opponents we should be aiming for. That would
Yeah,
definitely
he
be a
was he
good.
was game, man, in the 8th round.
So that'll be a good opponent for Philip Hrgovic. You know, he had his fight with Dubois. He ended up getting stopped. So for Philip Hrgovic, let's see how he climbs the ladder back up to heavyweight division. Because let's not forget, just a year ago, he kind of had like that Artur Beterbiev, David
Yeah, he was up
Benavidez
there.
rep, where he was considered the hardest puncher at heavyweight, the feared heavyweight. So I would like to see him. Interesting. Maybe him and a Zhang. Maybe
Yeah.
him and the Joseph Parker will be interesting. So heavyweight has been always a division with certain things. Like when people say a guy is chinny, like perfect example. I feel like a glass chin and chinny are two different things.
Yeah.
A guy that can't take a shot, and we got a guy like Dubois. Dubois is the perfect definition of chinny. No, questionable chin. We don't know what kind of chin he's getting. He took some hard shots from Hrgovic, rarely moved, and then we seen him drop 3 times in the first round by journeyman. So that's
Yeah.
what I mean by questionable chin. So for Hrgovic losing like that, I think he still got some life in him, man. Square him up with Anthony Joshua, man. Both guys got stopped by Dubois. Put him in with Anthony Joshua. Put him in with Joseph Parker.
Ooh,
Put
I
him in
like
with.
that.
That's a good one.
I like that. I like that.
David Philip Hrgovic, he's now, I believe, he's 19-1, man. What do you want to see for him next?
Well, I think the most impressive thing about Hrgovic in that fight was his activity, bro. He had an insane work rate for a heavyweight in that fight. I mean, he was mainly able to do that because he kind of was not putting his whole body into the punches. They weren't exactly arm punches, but he wasn't putting all his weight behind them. So I think the amount of punches that he threw, it caused Adelaide to like fold up, bro. And that's why he was able to really win that fight pretty easily. But I like Hrgovic. He showed a pretty decent chin, even though he got buzzed a couple of times. Adelaide was throwing some bombs at him. He caught some of those bombs, but he never really got down, man. He survived through it. And there is one thing I do want to shout out, though, is Abel Sanchez's trainer. I thought Abel, like I know some folks are not fans of Abel Sanchez, but man, I got to give a shout out to how he ran that corner, bro. It was very efficient. Like I swear, every time they had the camera looking at the corner, that stool was down before Hrgovic even got to the corner. It was already there. I hate, man, as a boxing fan, I hate watching the fights and the fucking boxer is like standing in the corner. He's like, it's the end of the round. Boxer standing in the corner waiting to sit down. They haven't put the stool down yet. Like that's one of the first things you should do, bro. Put the fucking stool down so you guys can sit and rest, right? Excuse my language.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was still efficient. Hrgovic had that horrible cut over his eye, and Abel made it a non-issue, bro. He took care of that cut. It was a non-issue for the rest of the fight. Maybe it bled a little bit more in the next round after that, but after that, you didn't see that cut anymore, bro. So he still gets in and out of the ring pretty quick too for an older guy. So I just want to shout out Abel, man. I thought he was doing some good corner work in there, and now that he's working with Hrgovic, I think Hrgovic has got a little bit to bring to this division, man. Like Usyk's on his way out, right? Usyk's on the way out. AJ's on the way out. Fury's on the way out. So now you're looking at Itauma is probably one of the guys that's gonna, one of the big heads. He's gonna stand tall in the division, and then Parker's still in the mix. I think there's a place for Hrgovic in this division as well.
For sure,
I really
man.
like that fight, though. I like that fight that Chris mentioned, man.
Yeah.
Hrgovic and AJ. I think that they won't make it, but that's a damn good fight.
Yeah, that is, man. That was a good pick right there. Listen, man, next week, the MVP Jake Paul is gonna have a doubleheader in Florida. I'm going out there to cover for PYP Boxing, and it's gonna be a good one, man. I've been waiting for this one for a really long time. It's one of those fights that a lot of people don't know about. Yanquiel Rivera, a Puerto Rican prospect and Olympian, going up against
El Bori.
Venezuelan Angelino Cordova, a South Texas favorite here, and we believe he is going to take it. That is a big fight. It's a WBO, I believe it's an eliminator. Chris, do you know about this fight?
Yeah, man. I've been. I'm gonna see if I get Yankel on the show. Me and him are good friends.
Okay. Yeah,
so
yeah. Well, listen,
he's a good guy, man. He's a
good guy. He's a good
thrown him
boxer.
into the fire, man. He's already in under 15 fights. He's already taken about. We did the interview actually. Me and Dave. He's actually taken like about. He's under 8 undefeated guys already in just under 13 fights. So he hasn't been fighting no 3-13 kind of guys.
No, he beat Dominguez, the New Yorker.
There's no fat on that record.
He
beat my guy. He beat my guy. I was there at the Caribe Royale for that one. Good fight.
He beat Andy Dominguez from New York City, a Golden Gloves New York City state champion over there. He was really good. So yeah, we know Yanquiel's no joke. Actually, Andy Dominguez was a stablemate of Angelino Cordova over in the Salas boxing gym. This is going to be a big one, guys. I'm going out there to cover this fight because, you know, I also know Angelino Cordova. I spent time with him in camp for this fight. He's been in camp for this fight since January, man. We really didn't know. We heard in January the rumors about it. Yanquiel, I guess, had to solidify his deal with MVP. That's done. Now we're here. It's been a while waiting for this fight. Angelino's gone through a lot, man. He was like number 2 or number 3, Chris, on the WBC, and then they took him off of that because he was flirting with the idea of taking this fight. And the WBC was like, oh, you're gonna go fight for the WBA? Oh, well, then we're taking you out. So they took
David made the perfect example. It depends on who you are.
Yeah. So they took him out. Frank Sandoval got moved up. Frank Sandoval went over to Japan and just won the belt. So that should have been Angelino. Angelino also, remember, is coming off of a no contest back in November. He fought Julio Cesar Martinez for the WBC flyweight championship. He lost a very close split decision. He got dropped twice in the first round, comes back to have an excellent fight, but he fell short. But then later on, we found out the guy got busted with steroids. The WBC treated Angelino very well. They got him his no contest back. They put him at that number 1 spot, ready to take another fight. When he started, flirting with this fight with Rivera, he was off those rankings, but here he is now. If he wins this one, he's with a great bunch of guys, Marinas Promotions, and they have a really good relationship with the WBC. So this is huge for Angelino. If he wins this, he can have either a title fight with the WBA or the WBC. I think Angelino takes it. Chris, the reason why is because he has 20 professional fights, not 7. And he is a volume puncher. He's had big-time fights with big-time names the last 3-4 outings. He is a volume puncher. Also, he trains with Salas at the Salas boxing gym amongst a bunch of beasts. I mean, the sparring over there is crazy. He's also part of that Venezuelan national team that was really, really good with Gabriel Maestre and Macayo and all those guys. Man, I believe Angelino Cordova is going to upset Yanquiel Rivera, man, with volume punching, and he may stop him late. He's a big puncher. He's got sneaky power. I talked to his coach, De Leon, over there at Salas Boxing Gym, man. The good thing about him is
no relation.
And he's got very sneaky power. But I think Cordova's going to take it KO in the 9th. Chris, what do you think?
I got my body hat on this weekend. I got my Brody hat on. I got my Trinidad shirt. We got Yanquiel doing what he's been doing, whether it's been dissecting opponents or just putting the beats on them. You know, he's destined for one of these guys, man. He's one of the few Puerto Rican boxers I can vouch for as the next great. He's had that Ivan Calderon all over him. He's got what it takes. So I got Yanquiel by however he wants it.
Yeah.
Whether he boxes beautifully and he starts going to the body, like I've seen him go to he's got that Mexican style going to the body, or whether he just boxes and eventually catches in with a high guard, you know, with the shot. Because I've seen him actually be on the offensive. I've seen him fight forward, going backwards. So it kind of at this point, I just want to see how Cordova attacks the situation. But Salas, obviously hell of a trainer, has made the best game plans. Some coaches are motivational, some coaches are game plans, and he's the guy that he's gonna build up a great game plan. So if I had to put my money on it, being the gambling man that I am, I will put a decision on this one. It's gonna be a good fight. I won't be surprised if somebody hits the canvas. Both of these guys, both of these guys have good enough power to hurt each other. So it just depends who makes the first mistake first. One obviously has more. Cordova has definitely more experience. So it'll be good to see how it goes. But these are the kind of fights that guys should be taking.
Yeah, these are big fights. This fight has big meaning, and yeah, Zach G's 1000% correct. Yafai is the guy from it's Gamel Yafai. He's the guy from Europe. He lost to what is his name? Chihuas Rodriguez from right here, Monterrey, Nuevo León. But he got busted with steroids, and then they promised them a rematch. And I don't know why Suleiman decided to say the hell with it. He just ordered Yafai to fight for the championship against Sandoval, which is fine. I'm hearing rumors from Cordova's team that he's going to fight for the WBC or the WBA either way if he wins this. Whoever wins this has got big things because they can fight for both titles or one of them. So this fight has a lot of meaning, and they're probably going to meet the winner of Yafai and Sandoval. But David, you want to break the tie here or the 1-1 here? What you want to go and see? You pick a winner here. You're going to go with a friend of the show, Angelino Huracan Cordova.
Nah, bro, I always call it like I see it, man. Like, I like Angelino. He's a good dude, got a good story and all that. But I just think I don't think he's gonna beat him, man. I think Yanquiel is the more talented fighter. They're pushing him fast for a reason. He doesn't have as many fights, but he knows what it's like to go 10. He's been 10 twice. He's been 8. So he's been in those later rounds before. And it's because he's faced higher opposition or higher quality opposition a lot sooner in his career. I'm okay with that. I look at that more importantly than the number of fights. I'm wondering who you're fighting against. And, he doesn't have a lot of guys that have those awful records. So I think he's going to win. Just from what I've seen, I really haven't done a deep dive into that. But off my head, I got to go with Yanquiel, man.
Yeah. I mean, these guys are no stranger to each other. They know each other. These are two dudes, even though they got a difference in age. They've been in the amateur ranks fighting all over the world. These Pan American, Caribbean guys, they all know each other. So they're no strangers to each other either. Yanquiel knows he's got a tough opponent up there, man. Chris, I hope you hit that guy up, man, and let him know I'm going to be up there and I'm going to want a couple words with him, man. But Mile High.
Hey, change the tone. Change the tone. Who said I want a couple words with him?
No, I mean, some.
I know you're kidding, bro.
Some reporting words. I'm going over there as a reporter. Mile High, do you know anything about this fight next week?
I don't, not until you texted to me earlier, but I was just looking at it, man. I see you guys are excited for it. They're flyweight, so sure it's going to be action-packed.
It's going to be a really good fight, man. Anything that has a Salas boxing gym around it, they're going to give a good war, man. So I'm excited for it.
The flyweights throw down, man. Flyweights throw down.
Listen,
they're pretty fun to watch.
There's another guy on the
For
card,
sure.
Yoenis Steas. Do you know anything about him? Rumor is, Chris, that Yoenis Steas is going to be elevated to world champion status as soon as the bell rings for Crawford Canelo. WBA will be making him the world champion. So essentially, this is a world title match for him.
I thought Yoenis Tellers was at 160
I believe he's fighting at 154.
because he
it's
didn't
154.
he just fight Kyron Davis on the Caleb Plant card?
Man, I don't doubt your knowledge, so I'm going to check it again.
But he does hold the 154-pound WBA belt. So he's got the interim belt at 154.
Yeah, he'll be elevated. That just checked it again. Yeah, he's on the WBA's.
So he
the
just fought Kyron
WBA
Davis
will.
at 160 for the hell of it.
Man, he fought Julian Williams back in March.
Yeah, so they'll
I think you're talking about somebody else, bro. I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, no, Zach G is right on there. Yeah, he will be. He's gonna be a champion before Virgil if he wins on Saturday.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
that is crazy to say.
But the WBA does that. They've been known to do that. Just did it with Rolly. They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it again as soon as the bell rings. Yoenis will be the champion if he wins. This weekend. That's a good question. When I'm putting on my reporter hat with him, but that's probably going to happen if he wins this. As soon as that bell rings, he's world champ. What do you think of that? And what do you think of him, man? Chris?
So I'm confused him. I confuse him. Yoeli Hernandez is the one that fought Kyron Davis.
Yeah,
yes.
Yoenis is.
Tellez was the one that fought on the Tank undercard, and yes,
correct.
He beat J-Rock. Yes,
so he's with Ronnie Shields. Yeah,
I actually got an interview with him. Actually, that's what's funny.
Oh shit, he left an impression. Huh?
So
he will be 154 champ as soon as the bell rings for the Canelo fight.
Oh, so they're gonna do with him the way they did like
Rolly
type thing. Okay, that's cool, I guess. It just depends how long has he been petitioning for. I look at petition. So if the guy's been petitioning for some time, if he's take away some step aside money, if he's for more than one eliminator, but if we're just gonna rightfully just upgrade the next guy, not even let him fight the 2 or 3 guy, I think that's always been messed up. I always hated the elevation. Just make the guy that's next up, make him fight the guy under him.
Yeah.
So if perfect example, with Virgil Ortiz. So if somehow Fundora is not the champ, don't elevate Virgil Ortiz. Make him fight whoever's between the next 2 and 4 on the WBC ranking. So, but I'm happy, because I guess you don't want to leave the belts vacant too long, considering some divisions aren't as stacked as others. But surprisingly, they're doing that for 154 when it's arguably the best division in boxing. So that's the only thing that's kind of weird, but. Like you say, man, the sanctioning bodies, it depends on who you are.
They work like that. They just did it with Rolly. So, that's cool.
The WBO is for Top Rank. The WBA is for PBC. They say that the WBA stands for We Back Out.
We Back Out.
So I guess it all depends. And, what a coincidence that these guys are with the PBC, right? So,
yeah. Yeah, listen, David, this is crazy. So if he gets elevated, he's champion. So everybody knows the WBA, they love their people, and one of their people's Boots. So we already know Boots is going to get the first shot. So that's going to put Virgil even further from a championship, man. What do you think about all this?
That's kind of the prop.
It's going to be Boots and Tejas for the championship next year. That's what it's going to happen.
That's why I don't like these interim belts, man, because it takes you out of all the other rankings. Like the way Golden Boy moved Cepeda was smart. Cepeda was like number 1 or at top 2 in every sanctioning body. So it was almost like they had their pick as to who they could force a mandatory with. So, that's the way to go with all these damn belts and shit that are going on. But once Virgil got that interim belt, man, he took himself out of the rankings everywhere else, and now he's stuck in line. They cannot force a mandatory with Fondora at the moment. So, uh, I hate the alphabet soup belt situation when it gets murky like this, bro. It's so whack, and it takes the sport out of boxing, because if boxing was a sport, this guy needs to fight this guy. Like, there's no messing around. It's hard to take it like a sport these days because of that shit. So I just want to shout out to Zach G, man. Zach G's from the UK, and he told us that Virgil gets a lot of love in the UK.
Really?
And I didn't know that, bro. I didn't know. I mean, we're not from the UK, right? So how would we know? But that's cool. That's cool to hear, bro. Hey, Zach G, just to let you know, man, I'm from Dallas, which is like the city of Dallas, and Virgil's from Grand Prairie. That's like a 20-minute drive, 20 30 minutes from Dallas. It's like a little suburb of Dallas. So, just to let you know that I got proximity. Virgil, look. I try to be unbiased as much as possible when it comes to boxing, man. But anytime there's a fighter at the DFW area, that's Dallas Fort Worth, I always got a little special place in my heart for them, especially when they're good. Errol Spence, in his day, he was a good fighter. He put on a lot of good fights. So me and Mark, we cheered for Earl. We called it like we see it. When he was doing wrong, he was doing wrong. But Virgil is one of those guys that we look up to. Like, we look forward to his fights. Whenever he's on, we're ready to check him out, and he's just that type of dude. So we wish him success.
Yeah.
But as for the Stayes kid, man, I took a look at some of his highlights. He's all right. I don't see anything special. He's got some power. He's aggressive, but just the level of competition isn't really you can look good against the Paleta, man. You can look like Sugar. You can look like Roy Jones against the Paleta, man. But when you're up there against somebody else who's a top 20 guy, it's a different story. So we'll see what happens in this next fight.
Yeah. Hey, Maiha, anything to add, man? You like the idea of, Yard being elevated, Rolly Romero being elevated to world champion status and not having to beat somebody for it? Or in my idea, it's fine, man. Hey, they're world champs. Their next fight is kind of fighting for it anyway. So, what do you think, man?
I don't have a problem with it as long as they're fighting the next fight, the next top 3 guy. You're seeing guys like Virgil Ortiz pushed out. Like, this is the same thing with, I don't know if he's not being promoted right or what's going on, but
we know
the
he's being
same thing kind of
great.
with Crawford. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that happens with Crawford. The same thing, man. That he doesn't get the fights that he deserves. You on the other side of the street, shit. You know what I mean? That's the stuff that leaves bad taste in fans' mouths. You know what I mean? And that's why you got Turk out here, making all these fights, because he's like, hey, everyone wants to see these fights. You guys are, for whatever reason, not wanting to work together. Now nobody has a streaming contract, so now you know what I mean. They're forced to have to kind of make some of these fights. So I think they're all in the same boat right now. None of them got really a deal. Nobody has a network deal or anything else. And man, Virgil Ortiz is too talented not to be a champ. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, I was questioning him until he fought Madrimov, and he made Madrimov look bad. And that was off his 2 prior outings before, looking like, man, I don't know, because how Madrimov gave Bud such a lot of problems. He looked very sharp. Man, Ortiz kicked his ass, man. So I think that you got these other guys that really I don't believe they're at that level. You know what I mean? But again, they have to fight the fights.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. All right, guys, listen, man, there's a big card in November, the Benavides card, and it just kind of piqued my interest because I was reading on Boxing and Barbecue's Twitter. What's up, guys? Texas guys, man, one of the biggest channels on Twitter out there for boxing, and they had a stat out there, and it kind of opened my eye. All the O's that are going on the Benavides card, man. Listen, there's a list of guys that are undefeated that are fighting on this card. I'm going to go down this list, guys, and give me 3 names that you think are going to be losers that night. You have Dalton Smith, who's going to be facing Subriel. He's 16-0. You have Sam Noakes, who's going to be fighting Mason. Anthony Mason. Is it Anthony? No, it's Abdullah Mason, not the basketball player. Abdullah Mason. He's 17-0. I think Abdullah is going to be fine. Mason as well is 19-0. I think he's going to be safe. Bam Rodriguez, our fellow Tejano, he is 22-0. He's fighting that night as well. You got, his opponent, El Puma Martinez Fernando. He is 18-0. Haney's 32-0. His opponent's 28-0. Brian Norman Jr. And then also you have Benavides, who's 30-0. His opponent does have a loss. They have a combined record of 184 wins and 0 losses, guys. Which one of these guys is going to come out with a loss? Which 3 of these guys out of, Dalton Smith? I'm going to start with you.
So wait, Mark. Are you asking for picks for all the fights, or are you trying to go?
These guys, out of these guys, all the
it's
guys
gonna be
that
good,
I mentioned.
You know what it is? You're down for an upset in one of these Ryad cards.
Yeah.
It's always been an upset or a real nail biter.
So I'm gonna read off these names to you, Chris. Tell me who's gonna lose their O. Dalton Smith, Sam Noakes, Abdullah Mason, Bam Rodriguez, El Puma Martinez, Devin Haney, Norman Jr., and Benavides.
It's also Artur Beterbiev was also supposed to be fighting Damon Nicholson on that card as well.
Yeah. But there's no those guys. They have losses. I'm just focusing on these guys who have O's. These guys who will lose.
I definitely have Haney beating Norman by snoozer. I still stand.
What?
Okay, so you
stand on that.
You got Haney winning. Norman.
Oh, you too.
Wow. I got people along me. I'm bringing in the troops. I'm bringing people on the Haney train. I haven't been the biggest Haney fan, but Styles make fights. Bring your pillow because it's gonna be a boring one. You probably won't even watch the fight. You'll wake up right when the scorecards come about. So,
I'm not a Haney fan, man, but I just think he's one of those guys when he fights up to his competition, and you know what I mean. He's
down.
He could.
So Chris has got Norman.
You're gonna get. I mean, we seen the one with Ryan, and we've seen him come back, and he was a little shaky. I think he's gonna have his feet under him in this one.
And he's moving up. He's moving up. He's finally fighting at the weight he's been supposed to be. He's supposed to be. He was supposed to be a welterweight at minimum 2 years ago.
When he fought Regis.
Because he already looked at weight drain in the build-up to Ryan Garcia. I still got the interviews on my phone. I was like, damn, it was only his second fight at 140. He was already looking drained.
And he blew up after the Regis fight. He put on like 20-something pounds.
Which was also illegal in California. I didn't know that. It's a 17% in California. So if he was 140, he couldn't weigh no more than 156 the next day. He weighed in 163. Ooh. Zach, I like sweet chili wings.
Haney, like I said,
I like barbecue wings.
I had Haney putting belt to Ryan's ass before the fight on paper, but that didn't happen, man.
I picked Haney as well, but the only reason I kind of just picked Haney was kind of for the fun of it. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I've always said the day that Haney fights somebody with somewhat of the same attributes as him, either big as him, young as him, some type of power, he'll have issues. So, which proved me wrong with Ryan. But Ryan has 2 things that intertwine beautifully, which is speed and power. And he's also was young like him, got the size. Brian Norman's good, but he's got the Mexican feet, man. He's got them cement feet.
Hey, hold up, bruh. No slander on the Mexican football. I got some Salvador Sanchez. I got some Salvador Sanchez fights to show you, son.
I think in my last lifetime I was Mexican. I love him, but his footwork. That Haney's got one of the. You know what it is with Haney? He does a lot of things good, nothing great. So I think that's what will keep him in the fight, and that's what will keep. And he's taking a big jump, even though Brian Norman has had, if I'm not mistaken, 31, 32 fights already.
20.
This is a big jump considering class. He went from fighting a C plus level fighter in Giovanni, so to now fighting an A fighter in Devin Haney. That's a big jump.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even go from a C to a B. He went from a C to an A plus. Devin Haney can easily be a pound for pound fighter on a night. We've seen good performances from Haney. So I'm gonna stick with Haney. And if I had to pick, I can also see Subriel losing.
Let me go down the list with you again, Chris. You got Dalton Smith, got an O, and he's fighting Subriel. You got Sam Noakes, he's got an O, he's fighting Abdullah Mason. Mason's got an O, he's fighting Noakes. You got Bam Rodriguez, he's got an O. Puma Martinez is fighting Bam Rodriguez, he's got an O. And then Benavides has an O. So you got two more to pick from on that list.
Benavides is definitely not losing to no Anthony Yard. Much respect to Anthony Yard because he's a tough dude. But Benavides hasn't had that power at 175, so I can see him kind of putting a beating on Anthony Yard. It just depends if he can stop him, but Anthony Yard will take some punishment. And it depends what kind of Subriel we get. Because I don't know, man. Dalton Smith is good, but if he can just make it a close fight, he might pull a scheme-ass robbery over there in Ryad.
Yeah, I don't trust Subriel either.
So, yeah, because Subriel, you know, he walks forward, but he's got a solid chin, and he cuts the ring off actually really great. But if Dalton used them legs and he can pop shot and get out of there or just make the fight somewhat competitive, then I can definitely see him getting robbed of that belt that night.
Okay. So you're skeptical on giving Dalton a for sure. Oh, Sam Noakes is fighting. Abdullah Mason.
I'm gonna have to go with Abdullah, man. He's been proven to be the goods.
Noakes is gonna be losing that O. So you got Norman Jr. losing. You have Noakes losing. You got one more to pick to be a loser, to lose their O. Now the guys you got left that have O's. You got Dalton Smith, Bam Rodriguez, and Puma Martinez to pick from. And Puma Martinez is fighting Bam.
Right now, Bam is that guy, man. I don't see nobody beating Bam.
So Puma Martinez.
Puma's a good fighter. Obviously a champion, so it's a unification. But like I said, Bam has been in wow of himself. He admires his work, and that's how he gets caught. So never know, man. Never know. And we've seen about 10 of these Ryad cards where we can know if we don't get an upset, we get a real tough fight out of somebody we did not expect. So if I had to put my money on one of these tough fights, it's definitely either maybe Bam or the Subriel Matias fight.
Damn.
I can see those fights getting real ugly if something goes wrong.
Wait, repeat that again, bro?
Definitely between Bam and the Dalton Smith fight.
And Dalton Smith, so he's basically thinking,
an upset is possible.
Yeah, upset possible fights. Yeah.
Wait, who are you favoring in Dalton Smith versus Matias?
I feel like depends on if he can pop shot Matias due to Matias just arguably just standing straight up in front of guys. You know how he
that's gonna happen. That's gonna happen. But
but let's see how he takes the punches, because if he's one of those guys that he takes the punches and he shows up in the corner, then Matias is gonna have his way with him.
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so you got Puma Martinez losing, Noakes losing, and Norman Jr. losing. Okay.
I think we should have went fight by fight, bro, and just let everybody say their piece.
Yeah, who they think. Okay, well, let me go ahead and start with Chris. Chris, I don't know if you've seen this card or not, but Subriel Matias against Dalton Smith. Who you going with?
No, Mile High, right?
I'm sorry, Mile High.
First one, who's again?
Subriel Matias against Dalton Smith. Who you going with?
Go Matias.
Okay, what about Abdullah Mason and Sam Noakes?
Abdullah Mason is going to win.
So
and Bam Rodriguez going against Fernando Puma Martinez. Chris says that's going to be an upset. Maybe. What do you think?
Nah. Yeah. Bam's riding high right now. Bam's the man. So I got Bam by
Norman Jr. against Devin Haney.
I got it. I'm going Haney, man. He looks going Haney. I think Norman Jr. is a little emotional. Haney, Haney's a good boxer, bro. But Haney's a very, very, very good boxer. So, like I said, he has the abilities. We'll see if he's got them. Let's see if he's got his feet under him and he's ready to really fight. You know what I mean? We're gonna see the
Yeah,
first exchange if he's gonna get on his horse and play his last one. He ain't gonna be able to. If he tries to do that, I think Norman cut the ring off on him and make it a bad night for him. But
yeah,
if he boxes like I know he can box, and that's the thing. I just think he's got the style to beat him. He's got all the attributes. We'll just see if he can. He always fights up to his ability. Like I said, I think with Ryan, he got caught. I'm not even going to put the Austrian in there. He got caught, man. I don't know if the Austrian, no Austrian, you don't go down. You probably still go down. These are two guys that fought each other multiple times in the amateurs. So they're very familiar with each other. They're familiar with their timing. They're familiar with each other. Yeah, it's the pros that, but they know each other. You know what I mean? They know what they like
yeah,
to do. You ain't changed that much. So, like I said, those are two guys that got in there. His last fight, I just think he just got coming off a knockout. You know what I mean? That's the roughest thing when you're a fighter. If you don't have your if you don't believe in yourself and you don't have your confidence, that's very big going into a fight. Very big.
I've actually felt that he just fed into Ryan's antics. Oh, so meet us in the center of the ring since we're saying you're gonna run. Meet us. So I feel like he just fell into the antics because the way he fought Ryan, I was expecting him to fight kind of like almost like a Charlo or like the way he fought to go against Jose Ramirez, is being very cautious, maybe catching one shot and then saying, "Oh yeah, this guy got popped. Let me get away from this." But he just fed it. Ryan baited him into the antics of stepping into the middle of the ring, and he took good real advantage.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. I got it by I got him by that. I know that's a, you know what I mean. If it was riding high
Yeah.
on Norman Jr. right
One
now, I
more,
get it.
Chris. One more, Conrad. One more. Benavides versus Yard.
Oh, I got Benavides. I got Benavides
Benavides.
all day.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, now quickly before I get to you, David, I just want to go with mine. I'm gonna go ahead and go with Subriel. I know Mason's gonna beat Noakes. I got Bam Rodriguez winning easy, but man, you know what? These guys convinced me, bro. I'm gonna go Devin Haney, man. Let's go. I'm going Devin Haney as well. I'm gonna go Devin Haney and Benavides as well, man. That's who I think will be winning. David, go ahead and give me yours, man.
Well, shit, man. I just go down the
Subriel and
whole
Dalton
fucking card
Smith.
then. So I'm gonna
Subriel,
disappoint Zach, our boy Zach over here, man. I think Dalton Smith is gonna take the L. I like Dalton's style. I think he's got pop. He's got some explosiveness. I just don't think he's not been in with a puncher yet, and I think that power from Subriel is going to be some next level shit for him. We'll see how he deals with it, but I think Dalton Smith is going to lose that O. Actually, the first fighter that came into my head when you asked this question mark was Sam Noakes. I think Abdullah Mason is going to beat him. So I'm going with Abdullah Mason on that one. I just think Mason is the goods, bro. Noakes has a good KO percentage, but I don't think it's real. I don't think it really means a whole lot. But we'll see on fight night what it means. As for Rodriguez and Puma, I got to go with Bam, bro. Easily, man. I mean, Puma's fun to watch. He's kind of a one-trick pony to me. I think Bam has way too many wrinkles in his game. He can press you. He can fight going backwards on the back foot. He can give you angles. Bam just does too many things too well, and I think he'll work Puma. As for Brian Norman and Devin Haney, I gotta go with Brian Norman, dog. I don't know what I get what you guys are saying, and y'all making some good points, but I don't see it. I just don't see it. Uh, I think the way that I saw Haney fight Ramirez, who isn't even a full blown welterweight, the way that he fought Jose Ramirez, it disgusted me. Number one, that's probably why I'm thinking this way, right? I'm kind of hoping he loses because of that fight, because I wasted the whole 40 minutes of my life that I cannot get back. I can't get any of that time back, bro. So I need I need Brian Norman Jr. to do me a solid and drop this kid, man.
Damn, it sounds like you got some hate in your blood.
I know, no. I'm joking. I get like that sometimes, right? I get like that, but I really don't see how Haney beats this guy. Chris, you said that Brian has slow feet. I don't see that, bro. I don't see those. I don't see brick feet like
He
that.
has slow feet, and he's not as big as people portray him to be. I got the face-off video when I was front row at their presser. He's not that big the way people were making him seem. He may be
he's solid, bro.
He probably rehydrates, but but you gotta understand he's from the country, so he got that country strength. So I'm not gonna put that beside. He got that down south strength. You know, they chop wood and all that. So, like I said, I won't be surprised if he beats him. I'm just picking Haney because of the style and due to the fact that he's went from fighting C-level opposition within the last year to jumping to fighting at minimum a B+ fighter. At his worst night, Devin Haney's a B to B+ fighter. So that's a big step that he's jumping. But this is boxing, and we've definitely seen what's been happening in these Ryad season cards, and that might be the fight. Who knows? What if Devin Haney stops him?
Well, nah, that's crazy talk, bro. You bugging. But look, I'm gonna tell you this. Brian Norman, he hits hard with every punch, bro. The jab is a thudding jab. I'm gonna tell you this right now. He gets that jab working against Haney. It's a done deal. It's a wrap. As for the other fight, Benavidez versus Yard, I like Yard, bro. I remember seeing Yard against Kovalev and against Beterbiev.
I picked Yard too.
Huh? What happened?
I picked Yard to beat Beterbiev, and I was looking good the first couple of rounds.
For a little bit, you were, but I didn't think he was going to beat Beterbiev. I just knew it was going to be a good fight. Yard comes to fight, bro. I don't think he's going to beat Benavidez, man. I think Benavidez is safe on this one, but it's a good fight. It's a good fight.
Accumulation of punches, or does he just beat him from pillar to post for 12 rounds? Because we haven't seen that Benavidez punching power at 175, and it's been proven. So, talking about a guy that's been hit by Sergey Kovalev in his prime, Artur Beterbiev, he might be able to withstand. He might be able to, take some of those punches when it rains. He might be able to cover himself up. So I can see him maybe getting beat pillar to post up and down the ring, but a stoppage it's kind of hard because he hasn't, like I said, look, with the dude that he fought on the Tank main event, Alexander Vazdik, with Morel, we've got a good sample size that the power's not there. And if he was rehydrating 195 at 168, he's definitely over 200 now at these fights at 175.
Sure. Easy.
He's not been he hasn't even put a guy on the canvas yet. Yeah, he's been put on the canvas at 175 already. So let's not. I don't be surprised if he walks through him and it's kind of like David Morrell. He maybe slips up and he hits the canvas.
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of things can happen. We've seen a lot of these shits in Ryad, man. I think it's the flight.
I can see the flurries. I can see Benavidez working Yard, getting the stoppage that way, trapping him in a corner. Although he looked like he fades to me at 175 a little bit. But I could see that kind of thing happening. I don't think he's gonna knock Yard out cold. Nobody really does that, man. But Zach made a comment here that I kind of want to address. He said Turkey's mad stupid. He should have made Benavidez versus Beterbiev. That's actually what he's trying to do. He's trying to make. He said, and that's why he got Beterbiev on this card. It was supposed to be the Bivol trilogy, but Bivol is out. He had some kind of surgery or some shit on his back, so he's not. He's going to be out until next year sometime, right? So what's going to be on the docket? Beterbiev and Benavidez, and Turkey's already mentioned this, and Benavidez has given the verbal okay, I'm down for it. So Zach, that might be happening sooner than later. And that's what I'm going to be looking at too. I'm going to be looking at Beterbiev, man. He's got to get old at some point, bro. He's got to get old at some point. So I'm hoping that we still get an on par Beterbiev versus an on par Benavidez. So there's no excuses. Oh, he was too old.
Oh man, it's like 11-year gap. So when was it a good time for him to fight? When Benavidez was 300 and pounds and Beterbiev was 27.
A
Like
16-year-old,
yeah,
year-old.
whenever there's a big age gap of at minimum anywhere between 6 years and up, it's always hard to see when was the fight a good time to be made. So
No, there was never really a good time for this one, right? They were in different divisions, like
yeah,
whatever. But not now. I think trying to push this fight next is the best bet. I think that's the best thing that we can hope for.
and it
Is that
makes
if it
sense because
happens
if you
next.
want the rematch with Dimitri Bivol at Undisputed, Benavidez has a belt. So it
Boom.
actually makes the perfect sense, actually, Dave, when you put it like that. So who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
We'll see, man. Fingers crossed. I hope that goes down.
Yep. All right, guys. Well, that's all we have for you guys. Thank you, Boxing with Chris, for joining us once again, man. Conrad, thank you very much. Next week, guys, be looking out for some great interviews from out there in Florida. There's some big names, big trainers out there. Chris, talk to your boy, man, in a good tone. Tell him I'd like to interview the guy.
Yes, sir. We'll set him up if anything. We'll talk to him. We'll see if we could get it. Let's see if we could get him in the middle of the week. I'll talk to you guys. Maybe we'll do a quick interview in the middle of the week. But I could definitely get in contact with him. That's my guy. He's a good guy. So we'll definitely set something up.
Hopefully, let us know. Anyway, we'll be out there. Be looking out for that. Next week, we have some pretty good cards. This one that we spoke about, Yanquiel Rivera versus Angelino Cordova. Also in Mexico, we have Abel Gonzalez going against Alfonso Flores. That's a big, big Mexican fight. Don't miss it. We'll be back next week breaking all this stuff down for you and current news during the week. Thank you, guys.
Peace out.
Go ahead and share
Everybody
your
in the
link
chat.
when you go live
Guys.
and you're doing your things this week. I'll share it with the audience. That way you get more views.
Absolutely, man. Thank you very much. We'll see you
Guys,
guys.
have a blessed week. Be safe.
Yes,
Same, guys. Thanks for
Take care,
chopping
guys.
it up.
Appreciate it. Dave, just send
As
it to me
always.
whenever you're ready.
All right, for sure, man.
Yeah.